Bill O'Reilly here, Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Russia claims President Biden has a mental disorder. Putin's invasion causing food shortages here in the USA. Antisemitic hate crimes surge in New York City. Economists rank the best towns for retirement. Also ahead, what exactly is evil? But first, a state-run newspaper in Russia reporting Joe Biden suffers from dementia. The pro-Kremlin outlet writing, quote, "The American president is not in his right mind and exhibits 5 symptoms. He has a serious mental health disorder. Many Americans feel sorry for their president, but wonder if he is able to perform his functions," unquote. The article claims Mr. Biden appears forgetful, disoriented, wanders aimlessly, and has difficulty moving. That from the Russian media. The war in Ukraine pushing food prices higher in the USA. The cost of poultry, beef, chicken, eggs, fish up another 5% compared to early February. Ukraine and Russia are major grain exporters, and of course, that affects all food prices. So the conflict is adding even more pressure on Americans already hurting financially because of inflation. Attacks against New York's Jewish community, the largest in the country, rising 300%. The NYPD confirming at least 45 separate incidents across the 5 boroughs since January, up from just 12 during the same period last year. Major felonies in the Big Apple also surging. Car theft up 93%. Armed robbery 33%. Assault 12%. Shootings 25%. Violent crime in the subways up an astounding 50% in the last 4 months. Forbes magazine listing the best retirement places in America. Here they are: Raleigh, North Carolina; Savannah, Georgia; Charleston, South Carolina; Houston, Texas. Number 1, Sarasota, Florida. 50% of that city's population over the age of 65. The typical monthly mortgage, $1,400. Average temperature, 76 degrees, although it does get a bit warm in August. In a moment, evil. Do you know what it is? Right back. As you know, inflation is almost out of control thanks to the policies of this administration. Retirement accounts are especially vulnerable right now because when inflation goes up, your dollar savings go down. So how do you protect your hard-earned wealth? Please call the people I trust at American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts against inflation by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver, and they make it easy. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. All it takes is a quick call, and they will deliver physical gold and silver right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Plus, tell them O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. So please don't wait. 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day: evil. The definition is profoundly immoral and wicked, reprehensible. Wow. You know any evil people? I think about my mother, who never met an evil person in her life. She was essentially a child of the Depression and World War II and grew up in a traditional home and then established another traditional home, was a bit cloistered, and really never ran into evil. And I discussed it with her one time. I said, "Mom, do you know any evil people?" And she looked at me and went, "Billy, that's not a good question." But evil exists in this world and in worlds prior. Kublai Khan, emperor of Mongolia and China in the late 13th century. Khan's conquest of Asia led to the deaths of 20 million people back then. Sultan Saladin, the Muslim warrior, captured Jerusalem for the Islamic religion in 1187. He routinely beheaded thousands of Christian knights during the siege. He ordered the mass execution of 2,000 Christians in 1191. Not a good guy, Saladin. In contemporary times, Adolf Hitler, of course, the Nazi dictator's war in Europe, led to the most destructive event in human history. 60 million people displaced, 25 million killed, 6 million wiped out in the extermination camps. Joseph Stalin, Hitler's contemporary, Soviet leaders responsible for the deaths of 20 to 30 million Russians, most commonly from starvation. Stalin orchestrated famines in Ukraine, Siberia, other places as a method of population control. Mao Zedong, the dictator of China, took over in 1949. But between the years 1958 and 1965, Mao launched a series of failed Marxist programs, including the so-called Great Leap Forward. The communist experiments led to food shortages again, lack of housing, mass political executions. 45 million Chinese were killed in less than a decade on the orders of Mao. So now we have Putin. Is he evil? I say yes, he is. Every day for the past 8 weeks, his military has killed innocent civilians, children, babies. Why? For what? His invasion of Ukraine is senseless. Ukraine wasn't a threat to him or anybody in Russia. Putin did it for his ego. There is no other reason. His army is exterminating civilians for Putin's ego. That is evil. You may remember that in 2017, I told then President Trump that Putin was a killer. And indeed he is. And killers are evil. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. If you'd like more honest news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com, where you can see me on television. In a moment, something you might not know. Supply chain issues have been a catalyst to bring high-tech manufacturing back to the USA. My tech guy, the founder of Brownstone Research, calls it the Great Recalibration and discusses it in his new newsletter, Near Future Report. For 35 years, Jeff Brown has helped his subscribers safely navigate volatile times to preserve and grow wealth. He also answers your most pressing questions, like how to protect your retirement from inflation. What are the implications of a new digital currency and the Great Reset? What will the Fed do with interest rates? And what's going to happen in the stock market this year? Brownstone Research has been at the forefront of major market moves for 35 years. Let Jeff help you by signing up for his newsletter today at a 75% discount, a 12-month subscription, only $49. So please go to jeffbrowntech.com, jeffbrowntech.com, jeffbrowntech.com. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day in 1871, President Ulysses Grant signed a series of laws allowing the federal government to crack down on an emerging threat to the country, the Ku Klux Klan. Here is the story. Following the Civil War, the ratification of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments sought to protect former slaves from harm. The movement to block blacks from voting then went underground. Founded in 1865 by a group of Confederate veterans, the KKK rapidly grew from a secret fraternity to a paramilitary force. Local chapters were formed throughout the country, especially in the South. Members terrorized and often killed anyone promoting equal rights. To stop the mayhem, Congress passed the Ku Klux Klan Act, Grant signed the law on April 20th, 1871. The act allowed the U.S. Army to fight the Klan and other groups trying to deny blacks the right to vote. The president was even granted the power to suspend habeas corpus and indefinitely detain those accused of perpetuating violence against African Americans. Within days, 9 counties in South Carolina were placed under martial law. Thousands were arrested by the Grant government. But in 1882, the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously decided the KKK law was unconstitutional. The court said the government could not use the military to enforce election laws. That ruling directly led to Jim Crow, which is the denial of voting rights to African Americans, and that lasted well into the 20th century. Without federal intervention, the Klan dominated vast sections of the country for decades. But during the 1960s, the organization was damaged by FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, who used undercover agents to lock up the group's leadership. And here's something else you might not know. 151 years later, the KKK remains active. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there are 42 chapters in 22 states, membership in the USA estimated at 10,000. In 2022, the state with the highest number of Klan members remains the same as the day President Grant signed the law in 1871. Mississippi. Back after this. A criminal found the title to my friend's home online, forged his name, replaced him as a new owner on the title. That is called home title theft. And my friend spent a lot of money trying to get his title back. Real estate crimes and losses are not rare. According to the FBI, this crime is growing faster than credit card fraud, if you can believe it. And you're not covered by homeowners insurance or common identity theft programs. Home Title Lock has earned my trust. They put a barrier around your home's title, instantly detect anyone tampering with your home's title, and mobilize to help shut it down. Here's what I urge you to do. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com. Read the testimonials from government officials. Register your home address to see if you're already a victim and you don't know it. And when you protect your home, tell them O'Reilly sent you to get my listener discount. HomeTitleLock.com, HomeTitleLock.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.